All right, good evening, everyone. This is the regularly scheduled meeting of the Municipal Land Use Board, Borough of River Edge. Today is Wednesday, April 12, 2023. Time now is 7:30 p.m. This meeting of the Municipal Land Use Board of the Borough of River Edge is being held remotely and recorded via Zoom due to Borough Council Chambers unavailability and is in compliance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act and associated regulations. Notice of this remote meeting was published in the Bergen Record on October 6, 2022, posted on the front doors of Borough Hall and posted on the borough's website. The notice included the dial-in and login information necessary for public participation and access to this meeting remotely. Copy of the agenda for this meeting was made available on the borough's website near the posting of the meeting notice and included the dial-in and login information. During the public comment period of this meeting, if you would like to make a public comment, please press the raise hand button on Zoom or dial *9 on your telephone keypad to raise your hand. The board will address you by name or by the last 4 digits of your telephone number. You may mute and unmute yourself by pressing the microphone icon on Zoom or dialing *6 on your telephone keypad. You must state your name and address prior to making a public comment. With that, I turn things over to Ms. Steinle. Good evening. Would you kindly call the roll?
Hello, thank you. Mr. Mayor is absent excused. Mr. Caslin?
Here.
Ms. Boland?
Here.
Mr. Merman?
Here.
Mr. Pfeffer?
Here.
Mr. Cray?
Here.
Mr. Arkelian?
Here.
Councilman Kinigo?
Here.
Mr. Gibbons?
Here.
Mr. Esposito is absent excused. Mr. Bastide?
Here.
All right, thank you.
All right. Our first agenda item this evening is the approval of the minutes of our March 22nd, 2023 meeting. A draft of the minutes was circulated to the board prior to this evening's meeting. I'll open to the floor for comments on the minutes. Okay, there being none, I will entertain a motion on approving the minutes, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Boland. May I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Bastide, thank you.
All right. And we can just,
Who seconded?
Mr. Bastide.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll do a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstain? There being none, resolutions are approved. Next item this evening is the memorialization of Nick's Hot Bagels, NJ, LLC, 480 Kinderkamack Road, Block 804, lots 13 and 14. This was an application for a food handler's license in connection with a change of ownership. A draft of the resolution was circulated to the board prior to this evening's meeting. Open it to the board for comments on the draft resolution.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Merman.
I have a comment or a question, actually. I received a revised version. If somebody could quickly explain what the revision was or if it was significant or not, I'd appreciate it.
yes, the revision was just, I had included the incorrect applicant's name in the resolution, so that was revised.
Shame on you. All right. Great. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, comments from the board? All right, there being done, I will entertain a motion to approve the resolutions, please.
So moved. Gibbons.
Thank you, Mr. Gibbons. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Boland. Ms. Steinle, when you're ready.
All right, Mr. Caslin?
Yes.
Ms. Boland?
Yes.
Mr. Merman?
Yes.
Mr. Pfeffer?
Yes.
Mr. Cray?
Yes.
Mr. Arkelian?
Yes.
Councilman Kinigo?
Yes.
Mr. Gibbons?
Yes.
And Mr. Bastide.
Yes.
All right, the motion passes.
Okay, thank you, everyone. That is it on our agenda this evening. Just 2 quick items, though, before we let everyone adjourn. First off is just a reminder to the board to please pick up the application materials for the next meeting on April 26th. They are at the River Edge Police Station at the dispatcher's desk. Given the nature of the upcoming applications, there's a sizable amount of material to be reviewed. So I want to make sure everybody has that in hand enough time for our next meeting. The second item, I'm going to turn to Mr. Merman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. By the way, do we have our planner and or engineer with us online?
No, they are not here.
We're not here. It would have been better if we did, because I would have expected some answers from them. Nevertheless, I'll put it on the table. I'm gonna do a whatever happened to situation, and basically it's looking for status. We, the board, had put forward suggestions for retaining walls, driveway ordinance changes, and so forth. And that was quite a while ago. I was wondering what the status of it is, and I would have thought maybe we would have heard something by now. Likewise, a little something quicker was, I believe the planner was going to do some tweaking or whatever on the fast food ordinance. And that was a result of our work with Dunkin' Donuts. I was wondering what happened to that. Recently, we had quite a discussion on our trees, and that right now seems to be hanging in the air. I don't know if it went forward or something was being prepared or what. I think one of the major items that has been hanging for years is the revised sign ordinance. I would like to see us try to set a goal to pass that this calendar year. At least get it over to the mayor and council. And it's going to creep up on us. And I think that's major. It's been in limbo for too long as far as I'm concerned. And one of the other status items was what's going on at Borough Hall? Doesn't seem to be any construction up there for me. I every time I go by, I don't even see a truck with a ladder on it or anything. Is there real construction, or what's the status of that? I'd like to hear from our well, probably our borough engineer. I imagine would be knee deep in that construction. I'd like to see where we are. And I have other couple of items here. I would like to see if Mr. Coster has followed up on New Shaver. So it looks to me like they have their structures in for their panels. And if I recall that resolution, the resolution included screening in the AC rooftop units. And so far, they don't look like they're screened in. I'd like to get a report from Mr. Casa. And I have a couple of other items. One of them is Palmer Brothers. When I go over there, that place looks like a total eyesore. It looks like the aisles of the parking field are cluttered with goods, pallets all around. I'd like our code enforcement official to pay it a visit and see what's happening over there and get back to the board, either directly or indirectly. And probably my other one I have in the same category is the old Let It Grow site on Johnson Avenue there. It's just gone under some construction. And that's the site that's opposite Sunny D's, which is now 429 Prime, which seems like they changed hands and never went before our board, but let that be. On that particular site I'm referring to stands a three-legged self-standing steel sign structure, and it's right adjacent to Route 4. There's a lot of material hanging off it, very loose, flapping in the breeze. I think somebody, either borough engineer or code enforcement official, probably the borough engineer, should get over there and get that removed before it flies off into Route 4 traffic, and we have a real problem. There's no street number on the building, but the block and lot number is a block 1418, lot number 1 for reference. I wish that one of our one or more of our borough officials would get back and at the next meeting, perhaps, and give us a follow-up on this. That's what I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Merman. So Ms. Donnelly will follow up with Mr. Behrens on the materials that you've been working on. If you wouldn't mind, if you, one of you can give us a status on your efforts.
I thought you said,
Meeting.
I can give you some answers on some of those issues. I know Tom Behrens has an appointment at the yeshiva tomorrow, actually, to review all their landscaping and the solar panel issues. So he already made an appointment. He's going there tomorrow, so we should hear from him after
Well,
that.
can you get the message over that we're concerned about the roof, the rooftop enclosures?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
The Johnson Avenue issue, I believe that's the project we're getting at the next meeting. If it's 335 Johnson, they want to put a 4-story office building there, and that's coming to us at the very next meeting.
No. This is the other side, opposite
side?
the old Sunny D's.
Okay, then I have no information on that.
Yeah, they've been doing work over there, but there's no house number on it. So I gave you a description of it. I think that is a dangerous potentially dangerous situation. And I think somebody should get over there and get these people to do something.
Okay, and the Liz Stewart issue, the trees, I will get in touch with her. She was supposed to approach the mayor and council after our session. I don't know if she has or not. She hasn't kept me updated, but I will get an update on that and distribute that information to everybody as soon as I get it. Borough Hall, I don't know what the issues are. That's probably a question for Costa, but you're right. There has been absolutely no work. And now we've been told it might be between 2 and 3 years
What?
before we get back into our office. So yes, there are valid concerns about the fact that it's been idle. That's all I got on what you had mentioned.
Can our
I
councilman give
haven't-
us anything on that?
I haven't heard anything about this 2 or 3 years, so I'm not saying it's, you're wrong, Ed, but I haven't been
Right.
given any of that information.
Okay,
So I can't comment on that. I know that it's been gutted, right? And there's been abatement, asbestos abatement.
I've been told that by Jason from the DPW, just to be sure.
Okay, well, this is obviously an official proceeding before we go there. We'll get answers from Mr.
Yeah.
Merman, for the next meeting, and we'll get the professionals. I don't want to comment on things I don't know fully, but I know there's been a lot of work that has been done to date in the Borough Hall, and I've been there myself. I've walked through it. It's completely gutted, and that was a couple of months ago.
Okay.
Marina, can you get with the borough planner on
Yeah.
the sign issue?
Yes, so just before we go to that, what was the property with the issue at the parking lot? I didn't hear you.
Oh, with the sign?
I know with the pallets in the parking lot.
Oh, that was Palmer Brothers.
Oh, Palm,
Oh.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they're great. I love them, but first of all, it looks like an eyesore. And second of all, I'm not so certain those parking aisles around the building are in a safe condition with all the storage that's going on.
Okay. I'll talk
Maybe
to,
maybe the code enforcement official can get out and look at it.
yeah. With respect to the ordinance changes, I know that I was working on a draft with Tom. He was gonna help me with some of the definitions that we needed for the changes. In the last draft that I did, it didn't include revised signage changes, but if I know that we have some subcommittees on the board, I don't think that they're very active, but if the sign subcommittee would like to have a meeting and I could attend with Tom so we could put down specifications, something like that.
I don't think you'll have a sign subcommittee. at the
Oh, we
moment.
don't? Okay.
No, nope. It's been hanging for quite a while, probably close to 5 years. And the other one was the fast food ordinance. If you recall during Dunkin' Donuts discussion and all, I believe Mr. Barron said that we have to tweak or come up with a fast food ordinance.
Okay,
These
I
seem to,
will,
the only reason I bring them up is it seems to go beyond the wayside here, and before we get into a situation where we're going to need some of that, let's act on it now.
understood.
Okay,
I'm-
well,
Rob, I think some of this stuff that's being discussed should be discussed in closed session. I don't think this needs to be public discussion on some of the specific issues, especially being that a lot of this stuff is not under our purview. So I would like to entertain a motion that we go into closed session.
I'm sorry, Jim, it would have to fit into one of the categories of a executive session, and
All right,
I'm
so
not- I don't,
we're
I don't
talking
think that
things.
it would qualify necessarily, since we're just
Or-
talking about proposed ordinance changes.
Right, no, that stuff is okay, but I'm concerned about talking about specific property. That's not under our purview right now.
okay. At least on the ordinance matters, Marina, why don't you and Tom circle up? And then maybe you can just give us an update on where things stand. I know you mentioned you and Tom were working on a draft. Maybe you can give us an update, before the next meeting.
Okay,
All right. And then including, we'll look at where we left off on those discussions, including the sign ordinance as well. I know there was some dialogue about that some time ago. We can look back and see where we left things off on that topic. Okay. Anything further from the board at this time?
Thank you.
Okay. Marina, do we need to open to the public, or we're good to close?
we do not.
Okay. All right. That said, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Bastide. Have a second? I think I heard Mr. Eric Killian on a second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed, any abstain? Okay, we stand adjourned.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks,
night, all.
everyone. Appreciate
Good
you
night.
jumping in.
Take care.
Good night.
Good night.
Nay.
Bye.